So, as Alabama fans everywhere get done rejoicing the win they got in the transfer portal yesterday, less than 24 hours later, the cheers are running rampant once again, as the Crimson Tide just got a massive win on the recruiting trail for one of the best prospects in all of high school football. As four-star linebacker out the state of Georgia, Daryl Johnson has committed to Alabama today. We need to break down why this is such a big deal, but we also need to talk about why that four-star rating next to his name is a little bit misleading, and we're going to dive into it all. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited that Daryl Johnson commits to Alabama? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as always, who is Daryl Johnson? Well, as I alluded to in the intro, he's one of the best players in all of high school football, regardless of position, and he comes from the state of Georgia. But if we look at the 24/7 Sports composite, it tells the complete story. Daryl Johnson ranks as the number 28 player in the nation, the number 3 linebacker, and the number 7 player in the state of Georgia. And yes, while he's rated as a linebacker, it's important to note that when you turn on his film, one of the first things that's going to fly off the tape to you is the versatility he brings to the table and the athleticism he possesses. This is someone who you can find lined up as a defensive back, as a running back, or as a linebacker, and he's dominating every facet of the game. The other thing that instantly was apparent to me is his football IQ, where he's able to diagnose and attack plays that are happening on offense when he's on defense well beyond his years. And that's something that's going to carry with him into college. That's something you love to see at the high school level. Someone who is successfully diagnosing plays time after time. It makes him a highly coveted prospect, and it completely explains why he's a top 30 player in the nation as we continue to sit here and talk. But that also gets me into why I wanted to talk about the star rating next to his name is a little bit misleading. And in order to do so, we need to take a look at the 24/7 Sport composite, but also go back in time and check out how these composites have ended out. And since 2010, what I found is there's only one recruiting class where there were not at least 28 5-stars. The reason why I bring that to your attention is because even if the recruiting class was to stay the same, all of the players were to stay exactly where they're ranked right now, when it's all said and done, it is an overwhelming probability that Daryl Johnson will be a 5-star once all the rankings are finalized. Why do I say that? Because there's only been one class since 2010 that didn't have at least 28 5-stars. Heck, there's only been 2 classes since 2010 that didn't have at least 30 5-stars. We've talked about this before, but I always think it's important to note that these recruiting services kind of model their 5-stars after the NFL draft, where there's pretty much always going to be 32. Now, some years there are more. If we look at 2024, per the 24/7 Sports composite, there were 37. 2023, there were 39, but you get the point I'm trying to make here. When it's all said and done, the overwhelming probability is that Daryl Johnson will be a 5-star. And I understand we're splitting hairs here, but I also want to paint the picture as to why Alabama fans everywhere need to be so excited. This is a guy that ranks as a top 30 player in the nation in the state of Georgia that Kalen DeBoer and the Alabama Crimson Tide just got for a massive win. And other huge schools wanted Daryl Johnson and wanted him bad. Schools such as Florida State were really pushing, but in the end, it was the Alabama Crimson Tide, which goes to answer one of the prevailing questions Alabama fans everywhere have heard about Kalen DeBoer. Can he recruit? Well, though the results are limited, the results are positive thus far. It's going to be interesting to see how this staff continues to go forward on the recruiting trail. But this is a huge win for Alabama, and it's really starting to bolster this 2025 recruiting class, a recruiting class that's looking like it could be another strong Alabama Crimson Tide class. Alabama may not have the numbers as some of the classes in the top 5, as some of those classes are already decently loaded considering where we are in the calendar year, being in March. But Alabama's quality of each recruit in the class is what really stands out to me. And in fact, the last time Alabama got a commitment, we sat down and talked about how Alabama is one of the top schools in the nation when you take a look at the average recruit rank. It goes to speak to what a high quality of recruit Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide are after, something that Alabama fans everywhere became accustomed to under Nick Saban, and luckily, though the results are limited, they are very positive thus far. But I can't wait to hear from all of you. This is a massive win for Alabama. And Alabama fans everywhere have been excited about the Kalen DeBoer offense, but there has been some wondering, what will the defense look like? You're going from Nick Saban, a defensive-minded guru, to Kalen DeBoer. Are you still going to be able to recruit at such an elite level on that side of the ball? Daryl Johnson is answering the question, yes. Yes, they can. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.